Talking about Kerry Carpenter and Jonathan Aranda. I spoke with AJ, and he always says he feels the best way to use Kerry is to get him the most at-bats at the top of the order. His days off are against lefties to keep him healthy and an option at any point. But their body of work says, of course, we're going to play him as much as possible. What do you guys see when you watch these two work?
Hey, AJ, stop it.
Why?
Stop with the days off for your best.
But don't you have to manage workload?
Listen, Shots, no.
Tell me.
Get out there and play every day, especially if he's going to DH too sometimes. DH him on those days. You know what I mean? Like
waited our whole life to get to the show and get 600 plate appearances.
Yeah, right.
Don't take it from me.
Exactly. And don't take it from your best players. I understand the platoon.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that. I get the numbers and all that stuff for guys that are middle of the road guys, but not guys that are impact bats. I need the impact bats in there every single day. Against
Were you
lefties
an impact bat?
I think I was.
302 lifetime batting average.
I'm in the 3-hole, 4-hole every day. I got to play every day.
Well, that's the thing. Like coming up through high school and college, you weren't seeing a ton of lefties, right?
Right.
So you had to see and play against it to get comfortable against.
You have to you want to hit lefties? You got to play.
Yeah.
So nowadays when you see certain guys not playing against lefties, I'm like, how do you think they're going to have good numbers? Yeah, but look at his numbers. It's a small sample size. He's going 0 for 4. You're sitting him for 2 weeks. You get him back in there against the reliever. He doesn't do well.
Schwarber's gone next level.
Exactly. Matter of fact, I threw Schwarb's in my tape too. But I mean, if you look at some of the numbers, I mean, right out the gates when you talk about slugging percentage leader since 2024. I mean, are you platooning Judge, Ohtani, Tucker, and Witt? Are you sitting them against lefties every once in a while?
Fantastic.
You know, are you sitting them against righties, sitting Judge against a righty? Like I'm saying, Kerry Carpenter's got some thunder. Like I need 600 plate appearances with Kerry Carpenter. And another guy, Jonathan Aranda. You talk about a guy that's come out the gates. He's raking almost 1,000 OPS, hitting over 305 bombs, doubles machine. But look at this: Judge, Alonso, Aranda here in weighted runs created plus. And there's some big players right there. And D-Row, I like to go back, and when you look at these guys,
he got a nice swing.
Dude, he's got a great swing, dude. He's got a great swing, and it's a dangerous swing. And that's a guy, you know.
That was a game changer for me, Case. I'm sorry. Once I hit that home run over on Class A, it's over. You got to stick me in there every day.
I agree. And here, D-Row, really quick. You go back and look at the minor league numbers. Usually, when you get to the show, you're going to be somewhere around your minor league numbers. So you go to the minor leagues with Aranda, 282 average, 377 on base, dude. Right? 376. That's Mookie Betts' on base. 377, slug 429, not punching out a ton either. For me, that's a big enough sample size in 605 plate appearances to say, you know what, he's going to be able to do it at the big league level. When you watch Aranda
an easy move. He's hit his whole life, man.
And see how he's like right center, right field, but he'll also clip you to left and drive you to left field. But you even look at Kerry Carpenter. I know he's been in the big leagues for a few years now, but I mean, even he did well against lefties in the minor leagues. 330 on base, 269 average, 446 slug. There's enough sample size, right, against the lefties to say, you know what, let these guys play. I think this is where the analytics has come into the game and says, no, we need to mix and match so guys can have more jobs or whatever. I don't know what it is, but when you look at Kerry Carpenter, that's how you hit a lefty, to left center. You want to hit a lefty to left on left, hit him to left center. And that's what Carpenter did. He did it in the minors, does it in the big leagues, right? If you look at his splits here, that 134 plate appearances, 2021 to 2024. He's not facing them.
Yes.
That's why those numbers look like that. But then you get 25 plate appearances, playing a little bit more this year. But look at the 542 slug. This guy, the 240 on base
That's who he is.
He's
not going to hit average for me.
Right, but
I know how he adds value. He's going to hit me a 3-run bomb and look devastatingly handsome doing it.
He's going to win you ball games, dude.
Yes.
He's going to clip some lefties and hit you that 3-run bomb, you know, when he needs to hit it. You know, I think when you look at Carpenter against lefties, man, that's why I tell AJ, come on, AJ, that's a bomb this year to left field out there at Comerica. Another one. Look at the approach. When I see guys lefty on lefty with this approach, it tells me they can hit him. That's a pretty good slider from Hader. 84 miles an hour, does a great job keeping that front shoulder tucked and getting it through there. But you look right here at the comparisons with lefties. Listen, the platooning hasn't worked here in Tampa.
He had a big spring meet.
Yeah,
but trying to give him some runs.
And I know, and listen, you want all guys to do well, but look at the 375 on base, even with the 167 average. That means he's putting together good at bats. He's getting on base. He's finding a way on. So like, just platooning to platoon, especially a guy that's your best hitter. I
agree with you.
I don't agree.
I think a lot of teams do it to cost conserve. Right? Do we stick a $10 million left fielder out there, or do we platoon 2 guys for $1.5 million apiece?
Yeah. But these guys aren't.
That's a good point, Nace. Nace just said money here, but these guys aren't making money yet to even worry about that.
Yeah, no, exactly. But
Aranda rakes. You've been watching him for a while now.
This guy does rake. You know, he only has 3 hits, but look at this. It's the approach. He's not playing against too many lefties. This is the approach. When you see a guy go to left field, I'm just saying, your best players need to play. They need to play every day, D-Row.
I agree.
Isn't that 162? Pete Alonso, 162.
No die roll.
Guys still do it. Guys still play. And look at it. I want to go back to Schwarbs, because Schwarbs, for a couple years, and you did this earlier on, for a couple years, Schwarbs did not hit lefties too well. Guess what? he's going to another level as a player. He's going to get paid after this season because now he rakes lefties. He might even be better against lefties at times, but driving the ball. Go back to a guy like Fred McGriff. First 5 years in the big leagues, you look, he was an okay player against them, 245, 712, and then you learn to hit them as you see them. 812 OPS, and then he's a 270 hitter with some damage. I'm just saying, you want to hit lefties? Like, I can't imagine going back to my career and them saying, hey, you're going to get the day off against a lefty. I was like, no, that lefty's making me a better hitter as a left-on-left because it allows me to stay in more. It allows me to hit that sinker ball or righty better because I'm not leaking all the time facing righties. I get in there against a few lefties and I stay tucked and get on it. It sets my swing up. So careful with all this platooning, guys. Just because you look at the numbers, guys have to play in the crime dog. And there's nothing better than bringing footage up with the crime dog and seeing what he used to do.
My first big league camp, I went and the crime dog was still with Atlanta, and I watched him go in the cage. They had those yellow dimpled balls at that pause us. There was the yellow dimpled balls at that time. Remember those that were hit Iron Mike?
Yeah.
Boom? And I watched him take an entire round. He never swung once. He just sat there and took, and walked out of the cage. And he's like, pick those up.
There it is. There it is.
Pick these up for me.
Well, you know what? I threw a couple of these in there. I didn't throw them in. I didn't throw them in. They threw them in.
Let's go. You're allowed.
Hey, I'm just saying, looking back, these are some of the best moments. That moment was one of the best moments of my life. If I'm platooning, you don't get the chance to face Randy Johnson in the playoffs. You don't get a chance to face guys like Tom Glavine and some of the best players in the game where, you know, you're in the 3-hole, you're in the 4-hole, you're the best. You know, you're doing that. You should be able to face those guys. So I'm just saying, Carpenter, Aranda, I understand it, but even at the beginning, I didn't do great against lefties. I had to learn to hit lefties. I had to learn to be in there. And how you hit them, you've got to get in there against them.
Front shoulder close.
It's it, man. It's it. Like I said, D-Row, when I was scuffling, I was like, get me a lefty. I need to see a lefty because that sets me up against every righty I'm going to face.
Hunter, thanks for the time. You are the third member of the Houston Astros to win the coveted pitch hand award, and I believe you have the trophy there in your possession. Is that? Hey, let's go.
Here, ready to go.
Awesome. Ready to go.
I mean, what are the chances that ends up in the trash?
Don't say that.
No, low, super low. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
I mean, nobody's been better than Hunter, but you would have given it to him if his ERA was 9.
No.
Yes,
No, you look at some of the underlying metrics,
Yes.
his FIP, his all the other things that I can't think of right now. And also there's #other factors involved, Lauren. And shout out to Gene and the Astros for getting it done.
Hunter, I remember you bursting on the scene. Some starts were great, and others you would talk about how things weren't right. What's been the biggest adjustment in this ascent of yours that we're seeing?
Yeah, I think just being confident in your pitch mix, right? Like, you can go into a lineup with plan A, but, sometimes things change and you got to be able to rely on certain weapons on any given day. And, so far this season, I feel confident I've been able to do that and be able to keep that rolling forward.
Hunter, you came up Division II. You go get drafted by the Astros. They decide or they urge you to go with that high fastball, the four-seamer, and then something down in the zone. And that's what you worked with. That's what you used, and you had success with it. But then at some point, you decide to go back to the sinker, to that two-seam fastball. And I read in the ESPN article that Jeff Passan did on you that pitch really unlocked so much. Take us inside about that process and how you ultimately decided I need to go back to the sinker.
Yeah, so, when I first came up, I was kind of in the bullpen role a little bit, and I was able to just kind of rely on my four-seam curveball like I did in the minor leagues. And then, fast forward sometime later, the book starts getting out. Guys stop chasing my curveball down, stop chasing my fastball up. And I was like, all right, I need something that I can, use to kind of mix that up. So I went around the clubhouse, talked to great players like Altuve, Pena, Bregman, Mauricio Dubon. They start saying, hey, man, maybe if you can start busting some of these righties inside. And, so I kind of I ran with it. And, I did post a 9 in a month and did not get the pitch hand award. So I did have to make a change.
Wait, so you would go up to your teammates and say, if you were facing me, what would you expect? That was the conversation.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I was throwing 96, 97 still. I thought my curveball was still the same, and I was just kind of getting barreled. I'm like, my stuff I think is better than this, so there's got to be something else going on, So nobody better to ask than the guys in the clubhouse that are out there seeing stuff like that all the time and, able to chime in and help me out.
I want to talk to you about pitching with emotion. If you feel like it's a good or bad. When I watch you, I can tell you're trying to, hold it back a little bit. Like, you want to let go. Talk to me about that. Has that been a work in progress for you to kind of stay, a little bit more calm on the mound?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? Like, there's certain times, right? Like, mostly as a pitcher, I think guys talk about it like you want to get fired up when you know you're done. You know, like you do it in the first inning. It's a little bit hard to keep that up. So, I mean, but, you know, there's certain times in the game, right, where it's big spot, big situation, and, you know, maybe you get that big whiff or get out of a jam. You know, you definitely – it fires you up. You know, these guys are out here with you. You want to, you know, show that you're out here giving it your all and you're going to battle with these guys.
Hunter, you got a chance to play with one of the best to ever do it in Justin Verlander. You know, what were some of the things he taught you, and what are some of the things advice that you had asked him?
Yeah, I mean, JV, like you said, one of the best to ever do it. You know, I think he instilled in me that you know, pitch the pitch, right? Like if you get balled up on a good pitch, like, you know, that's okay. You got the stuff to make it happen. You can pitch behind the counts, you can pitch ahead in the counts, and, you know, quite frankly, if a guy gets a dinker hit off you, you know, you can get a big punch out when you need it. So I think you know, just kind of building off that was the biggest thing I took from him. And then, you know, that guy's more prepared than anybody I've ever been around on the mound. So just kind of watching him go through his preparation and try and take little bits from that and then apply it to my own game, my own preparation has been huge for me.
Let me ask you about another member of that pitching staff, Lance McCullers, returning over the weekend. First time since the 2022 World Series. What did you think? What was that like watching him back on the mound? Oh,
man, I was just so happy for him, you know, to be able to – I've obviously been around him, and, you know, I can't imagine just how difficult that is to grind for over 2 years, you know, in the rehab process, and then just come out. You know, he's so nasty, banger changeups. It was unbelievable to see. It's good to have him back, you know, and it's good for the team in the city of Houston as well.
I understand that there's a big crowd. There's a big crowd forming. Wow, look at that. All for you, Hunter Brown. That's nice.
That's the pitch hand audience.
It's weather day here. They're lighting off fireworks and rockets and stuff, so these kids are fired up.
Did you happen to see any ghosts last night while you were sleeping?
At the Pfister?
No. We're at a different hotel. I think some guys were worried about that. They kept us out of there.
They should take this interview to the house so everyone can hear it. Hey, Hunter, Robert is a Houstonian, and he makes a statement all the time. We live in New York City. He says Houston has the best pizza in the country. Confirm or deny?
That's fair. That's accurate.
So I got to reach out to this place. It's called Go To Tony's Detroit-style pizza, but it's in Houston. Best pizza I've ever had. I'm trying to get something worked out, maybe do a commercial for them, so this could very well help me out with that.
10%. I just led you there.
Yeah. Gold Tooth Tony, electric name, electric factory pizza. They bring the
energy.
energy.
You had a Gold Tooth Tony, didn't you? In your family, Gold Tooth Tony?
It's on cousin Ronnie.
Oh, cousin Ronnie had a Gold Tooth.
Hey, speaking of commercials, now it's time for fun in the field rituals celebrated by Banana Boat. Hunter, do you or any of your teammates have any favorite rituals, either, you know, on your team or maybe in past years that you've played with?
Ooh, I gotta think of that one. No, I mean, like today, I guess it's just a day game. You know, you're just trying not to get out caffeinated by the other team. Just want to really get the coffee down, bring the energy.
There you go. Hey, and lastly, how'd you get the nickname Diesel?
Isn't that your nickname?
That's also my nickname in high school. How did you get it?
It was back in AAA. We had like a 4 a.m. flight. I was putting down pre-workout, and my teammate Pete Solomon was like, "Dude, you're crazy. It's 3:30 in the morning. What are you doing?" And I said, "Man, if you put diesel in, you get diesel out. I need it today." And ever since that moment, they start calling me Diesel.
That's it right there. That's it.
Hey, Hunter, keep your phone close.
That's a T-shirt. That is a T-shirt right there.
Diesel in, get diesel out.
So great.
I'll tell you my story of how I got the nickname Diesel a little bit later, but that's not for
air.
public
What are you banging out for breakfast?
Today I got coffee and fruit. I'm about to go in and have some scrambled eggs in a second. But right now I'm just rolling off the coffee and some strawberries.
Get out of there. There's kids everywhere.
Yeah. Hunter, thank you very much for the time. Congratulations on your hot start. Best of luck today against the Brewers and moving forward.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.